Hello beautiful people and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I would like to explain you all the changes which came now in the game for the hero gear. We're gonna go through all of these changes. I'm gonna explain you exactly more or less how this kind of works, but also I'm gonna give you my recommendation how to approach this in generally. So of course we have to start with the Titan inheritance first. So you see basically here you have a button inherits and you can jump directly into this tab. And what this option right here allows you to do is actually to switch the special effects from one piece of gear to another. So first thing what we have to mention is that these special effects are still very rare. So yeah, you do have to pay attention just in case you are super lucky to get one. I personally have one myself. Not necessarily something super crazy is the magnetized effect for Brunhild more or less, which I'm not using, but that's a topic for another video. So first of all, let's go here and see this picture right here. So what you're seeing there, you see here the piece of gear. Now it's very, very important that this piece of gear doesn't have any special effects on it. And you can see it actually when you look at the gear itself, it doesn't have that bullet there. So if we go here downstairs, and I'm gonna zoom right here and here, you see that both these two pieces of gear actually have this bullet. This means they have a special effect on. What you have to pay attention to is the following fact. So when you take a special effect and want to put it on another piece of gear, please make sure that that piece of gear doesn't have already an effect, because you will lose that. You won't lose any of these two pieces of gold gear, but you're gonna lose this special effect, which is a pretty huge catastrophe anyway, because they are super rare. So in other words, if we would to take only these two pieces of gear we see here down, if I would like to transfer, let's say for example, from the right side gear to the left side gear, I first must take the left side gear and park this special effect into another gold piece of gear, because otherwise I'm gonna lose it. So this is a super important fact. So this tool right here will only gonna transfer one special effect from one piece of gear to another. The level of this gear and the random attributes are things which are not being changed absolutely at all. Now let's jump at the second tool we actually have right now, which is the Titan recycling. Now of course this only works for the gold gear. And how exactly does this work? Now we have a ratio of 3:1. What does that mean? You have to sacrifice 3 gold pieces of gear, and what you can get back, it's minimum 1, because you're gonna get minimum 1 top tier catalyst, but you also on top you're gonna get this stabilizer, which is gonna play a bigger role in the next topic which we're gonna address in this video. So for the time being, my recommendation is this system is still pretty fresh in game, and we actually still missing this daily type of event, like you know from the heavy trooper chips, which is into the unknown, in order to allow us actually to give us some more items, to give us some more XPs. So for the time being, I think it's good that we have this option. I think this rate is kind of fair. So you're sacrificing 3 pieces of gear, you're gonna get guaranteed 1 back. Now what we don't know right now is actually how many top tier catalysts you are getting. So as of right now, we only know you're gonna get minimum 1. So even if you get 2, I think it's pretty much a good deal, to be honest, because you're gonna use this in order to craft again this gold piece of gear, maybe with a chance actually to get a special effect. So that's exactly what you have it for. But for the time being, I strongly suggest you guys actually to relax with this. There's no point to go directly and start doing this ASAP. Now, of course, we also have to mention, if one of these 3 pieces of gear actually has a certain level, you're gonna get this XP refunded to you, which is a very needed and a very correct and a very fair thing. So now let's jump into the third topic of this video, which is the new refinement system. So first of all, I'm gonna put a video on the screen which I made before these changes. I think it's still worth actually to watch that video with the examples, but of course right here and right now we have to explain the changes. So let's use this screenshot right here. But first, let's mention some very important things. So first of all, that piece of gear right there is the one which you would like to kind of change. And if you see here damage and you want to replace it with attack, I mean, if you do that, that tells me you lack severe game knowledge. So honestly, this stats, the way they use it, it's actually a very bad example. You should never replace the damage with attack. Another thing we also have to mention of this screenshot right here, which is a very bad example again, is math tells me that 3.3, it's always going to be smaller than 7.8. So you should have selected the Air Force Attack 7.8. So how was the system in the past? So you have this item right here which you are refining, and you're going to use this item right here in order to pick one of those stats and to put it over here. First thing we have to mention again that this item right there, you will gonna lose it. That goes away. What you don't get in return is one of these stats to be transferred here. Now the older refining system, they were 2 RNG parts. So the piece which you want to sacrifice, the system would have chose for you one of those stats randomly. So in this case, you see the main gear being refined, being basically Air Force. So it would have been a chance that the system would have picked Army Attack and replaced one of these gray stats here, which would have been a severe loss for you. So with the help of this stabilizer, you are actually allowed to say, you know what, exactly that stat over there, I would like to have it somewhere here. So you lose the RNG on this part here. You can choose which stats you want to take, but the main problem also still remains because this stat right there still can go on slot 1 or slot 2 or slot 3, so it still remains RNG on which slot you actually gonna get this stat transferred to. Now let's mention something else. This is a good improvement, to be honest. I would have preferred to be allowed to also select on which slot this stat right here will gonna go. We don't have that. It's an improvement for us right now. And from what is told to us, this stabilizer can only be obtained if you recycle the gold gear. Now I'm pretty sure at one point they will gonna add this stabilizer somewhere in the shop or maybe in some free-to-play events as a rare and very good reward, to be honest. So again, just like we said in the second topic and the first topic, guys, there's no point to hurry. We are actually evaluating these changes, and it's important for you actually to watch and to understand now, because you're gonna apply this somewhere later, not now. Of course, the last topic of the video has to be the Titan gear rating. Now, generally speaking, I think that's always a great idea to have a score here. Normally, I think that the newer players will actually gonna be helped even more than players which already play this game for a while, because it's kind of pretty easy to understand when you see on this piece of gear, Air Force. Of course, the score for the Air Force is going to be the highest one, and you can see theoretically, yeah, it doesn't play any role if you're going to use this piece of gear on the tanks or on the Navy. The stats are anywhere Air Force, so won't play any role. Anyways, beautiful people, I hope this video helped you. If you though still have questions regarding these changes, please let me know in the comments and I'm gonna answer them all as soon as possible. And as always, don't forget to support the fantastic channels, guys. Don't forget to motivate me to carry on sacrificing minimum 15 hours every day in order to do this content, in order to help you guys in numerous amount of DMs per day by subscribing to this channel. And of course, don't forget to see me in the next episode.